Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and this is a game, War in the Pacific, Admits Edition. This is my play by email match against Deaniks. He's a Japanese player, and for me it is for me it is Allied side. February 22nd, 42, the Japanese take over or back this flip base the second time already now. So now it's back to Oni, Singapore. Some sub-activity here at Vietnam. Deep water, still hard for the Japanese to hit. Hit but no explosion. Tja. And one hit on my submarine. I forgot to check last turn how seriously is the damage on S36. I will do this maybe today. Then bombardment continue. Not so much damage today. Luckily my AVP can also avoid the damage at Pago Pago, but no counterattack. Now attacking a corvette, but this is in deep water. This is a Canadian corvette, and you can see with the British equipment you can get in early 42 already good hits in every water type. So having fight the German Kriegsmarine is already paying off for the anti-submarine warfare. And this is a French corvette. Don't ask me what is this graphic meaning here. If it's light balls, I don't know. It looks a little strange. So I-171 is now more or less dead, I would say. Not direct kill, but with heavy damage on so far of any Japanese base, it's hard to believe will return to base. Maybe we can hear some singing sound soon or later. And next working Mark 14 hit, but no fire. Pity. This was not successful. And here's my next submarine hitting a mine, because it's don't go the way, of course, it have to go. You must manage this kind of stuff often by hand, and this is not every time. I remember there's a submarine won't return to base and will pass this strait with full of mines. Luckily only one mine hit, and one mine hit is often not enough to sink Allied submarine. It's not the submarine is so strong, it's more or less the Japanese mines are so weak. Like the Type 95 depth chargers, they're simply too small. If you hit, you must have a critical hit to really damage, and not only make a little water attack. So my B-7 is flying out of Calcutta once again, making here the airstrike against a base, burning supplies, and making sure no air base will build up next to Rangoon. And yeah, that was already all the air activity in the morning. There must be some. I know there was a Dave Navy search, okay. And I used the first time, I think, my midshets. So the army is also now attacking at Navy strike missions. So I fly in 2000, that is the lowest possible altitude you can get full bomb load. It's always a discussion. Of course, with 1000 feet you can get more hits, but you have simply less bombs. I don't know what is really better. I need to really analyze this over time. I try now, and my dive bombers, of course, always hitting. So it was only a test if the level bombers can score a hit before the dive bombers are sinking over the convoy. And why here's a convoy in range of Port Moresby without air cover? Ask Deaniks, not me. So this AK and AP is more or less lost, but it was empty. Yeah. And if they are not dead now, I have more bombs. And there's also escorts, but I missed the escorts, pity. A patrol boat is not really for me, escort. Oh yeah, I mean, there's always a story. For me, patrol boats are not escort ships, they are patrol boats. This is not the same. So, level bomber. Shit, 18 more bombs, all missing. One hit after the next. All the ships are burning and wrecked. So, they're all going down. Only the 2 escort was able to avoid the hits. Still, it shows that if you want and if you know how to play, one hit is okay. This is unluckily only a short range coastal submarine, so this is only 40 centimeter, 45 centimeter submarine torpedo and not really creating a lot of damage. So maybe 5 flotation damage, 10 system damage, something like this. And a little more damage for a heavy cruiser. And I go for a submarine hunt. This is now I-10. 2 mates. At least there is some action. I only have the problem that somehow I contribute more, let's say, pressure to the game than the Japanese player, Deaniks in this case. But it's really only for me. It's coming from the other side of the game. Maybe it's for me. There's only Japan must push at 99% more or less non-stop, and you must only know how much and where you push first. And here this is all a little slow. If you watch the Sargoon game, maybe Sargoon also play Azorov. I think this is simply other type of play style. Good, anyway, let's check the after action report. Okie dokie, so there was some action, not really any air battle, but you can see I lost the ops, Catalina, Benji, and Deaniks lost the Betty. The pilots, only 1 wounded. So, success on my side. So these 3 ships all went down for sure. A patrol boat, again, I never use this kind of ships. They always for me cargo ships, I convert them. Other cargo ship, they're all nothing too useful. And the AP, but this is a lower class AP. Still, they are cargo. I mean, of course, he lost 303 ships, and these are all true numbers compared to the Japanese. But this is really because I play the Allied side like I know what I can invest and lose without issues, and I have no problem to risk ships with low value for important supply missions, something like this. And of course I lost also 2 carriers and 2 battleships, and so tactically Deaniks was successful in sinking more tonnage on the Navy side, but he's losing the air war and his army is also not so successful. Good, nothing at Hawaii to discuss. There was a submarine, because I will forget this anyway. Yeah, this one hit a mine, but only one mine, a type 4 mine. This is a small mine, and you can see it is damaged. My ship is down to 2 hexes per pulse, but it will not, it's not critical that it will sink. So I will now send this ship, of course, not back to Pearl Harbor and this long way. Then I will send it to Manila. Yeah, because I have a shipyard there, and why not there? It's only 2 weeks, roughly speaking. So there was nothing here, only a stupid submarine. There was a submarine here. And of course a lot of cargoes coming and going, building up Pago. Always full. If it's full, I will transfer it to the next base. I build up also Savai, I think. And here, don't ask me how this you won't pronounce. And but these are the backup bases. So I have more or less 2 main bases, 2 backup bases. They will link each other and help each other. And then we'll have here also 2 more backup bases. So that I have here 6 bases. They can always support each other. But I guess this is all waste of time, because why I need all of this? I don't see any pressure here on the southeast side of the map. So I was successful. There was a task force and they operating here some, I think, Navy Guard unit taking on this basis. But this is really in range of Port Moresby, and so I was able to destroy a quarter of this convoy. That is good. And the carriers are maybe still here, looks like. So, anything else? Singapore, 75%. Closing the distance to Fort Level 3 once again. In China, nothing. Nothing in China simply to discuss. We want to discuss Rangoon? I don't know. I have in Rangoon still 70,000 tons supplies. If I want, I can really ask and ship more, but I also don't see a need to build up here 250,000 tons of supplies, and then I lose the city maybe at one day. So I will keep 50,000 and then I will send 50 next. So between 50 and 100,000 supplies, I think, is enough. And this supplies will also trigger, I think, slowly over this road to China. But how much is hard to calculate. Here's my backup base. Mark, I build up. Next, if I have here the airfield 8 ready, this needs maybe 1 more month or even more. Yeah, then I can do more. I don't know. Calcutta is already nearly done. Maximum port level, then airfield 9, fort level 4, and then it's done. I don't need here anything else. And you can see I have here also tons of supplies, because I really don't see any issue with getting here fuel and supplies for the allies. If you really know how to play the game, you get here unlimited stuff to India in very short time. You must only organize it. So I think it's impossible for the Japanese to really ever let's say, threaten the supply lines to India if you don't lose Ceylon. Could be an issue if you lose Ceylon, then the Japanese submarines base have a much shorter approach distance. But yeah, good. I really don't want. I can maybe say, because there is simply nothing coming here for Rangoon, then I say, okay, now I build up Port Blair. So I will build up Port Blair for my forward base to support the defense of Rangoon and Ceylon. And if nothing happens, and I keep here the 18th British Division is here in Perth, helping with the construction of Perth and defense of Perth. Because maybe, but no, I don't think so. So if this task is done and I have here the maximum port as a port of 7 and airfield of 8, then I will get this division to Port Blair. Then I have a division on Port Blair, and this is then I think the end. Very hard to take this base, and with this base, it's very hard to really attack Rangoon or supply any invasion of Rangoon. This land road is too small. Time is running against the Japanese. This is why you need to conquer this as soon as possible before the Allies can build up any real defense with overlapping range of air bases and so on. Good, see you next time. Take care, bye bye.